high frequency. Yeah. Sync up. Already. Yay. I get up with the frequency each and every morning. Thanks, practice strategies, commence brainstorming. Live awake, excited, new day, new me. TSA, courtesy of JRE and Scott Free. Too many folks shallow, scared to drown in the deep end. And I ain't pointing fingers, best believe I was one of them. The pain I was numbing it, self-inflicted punishment. The streets I was running in led me to consciousness. Yes, they can steal my flows, but can't block my shine, baby. You see my glow? Now I live in the light, radiating love. Sun, you're a star, as below, so above. Am I too metaphysical? Are you over analytical? So many situations get critical. I'm a warrior, survivor is an understatement. Started subterranean, now we in the cosmos on some milky wavy shit. Sun-kissed, melanin rich, health is wealth, we live abundant. Connected with the oneness, I'm off my dumb shit. I bring to you substance more specific, life is synchronistic. All is energy, fact, over fiction when I rap. That high frequency, yeah, we on that. Sync with the most divine, catch contact. Physicality beyond that, high frequency, we on that. Mind over matter, thoughts not scattered. Gold stars co-creating, spiral up, no latitude, heaven or hell. Can you leave a trail? The high and low polarities, the vibrations, they all real.
Day to day just hoping, going through the motions, staring at the doors, who could ever get this open? Till I uncovered the secret to keeping it real. I got in touch with my soul, the fan my frequency feel. We play and follow the leader ain't going nowhere. That's why I'm living my life with a sovereign mind. All I want in this world is to spread love and greatness to you, using my music for we out of time. So for the divine, I'm doing my due diligence, giving some peace to views that's too militant. Doing it different, I got purpose and position. Feel the vibration, transmission is the mission. Need you to listen to these words, my dude. I swear my third eye got a bird's eye view. And do you wanna sync up? Cause I do. Surfing this wave, follow as we ride through.
All is energy, fact, over fiction when I rap. That high frequency, yeah, we on that. Sync with the most divine, catch contact. Physicality beyond that, high frequency, we on that. Mind over matter, thoughts not scattered. Co-stars co-creating, spiral up, no latitude, heaven or hell. It's in you, leave a trail. The high and low polarities, the vibrations, they all real.
Let it marinate, cause this is very great. To every state, the burden on my back, well, I carry weight. High frequency, high power, free spirit. Talking to the man upstairs and yeah, he hear it. Man, I'm riding the wave, inspired by the days when we sparked up, that was the light of the haze. But now I'm synced up, yeah, my drink's up. Am I drinking again? Well, you know, yeah, the gig's up. Freedom ain't free, believe them, they not me. The oppressor knows my melanin rich, and I'm scot-free. That means I got away. BS, not today. Stop and say we good, okay? No more drops today. This the high frequency, they gon' feel this. Still with optimism, but still I'm the realist. They gon' feel this, yeah, real quick. Bring the chorus in. That's real shit.
All is energy, fact, over fiction when I rap. That high frequency, yeah, we on that. Sync with the most divine, catch contact. Physicality beyond that, high frequency, we on that. Mind over matter, thoughts not scattered. Co-stars co-creating, spiral up, no latitude, heaven or hell. It's in you, leave a trail. The high and low polarities, the vibrations, they all real. Peace to the guys, brother Yusuf found. High frequency radio, yeah, we on that. Peace, brother Paul Savage, you already know. You are locked in, tuned in live. High frequency radio. Sync up.
Peace, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. You are going to be hearing Morris Talk Live 100 with your brother Tarhaka. He's coming today with a powerful message about right to travel. We're going to not delay any further and go straight in. So here's Brother Tarhaka. Peace and love, brother. Welcome.
Welcome, my brother. Welcome, everybody, to High Frequency Radio. I'm your host, Tarhaka Amana L. Bay, and today we are discussing how to exercise your freedom of right to travel. And what I want to do is tell you how I did that. I hope you got paper and pencil handy so you can write some of this stuff down. The first thing that we want to understand is nobody can give you any rights. Okay, you're born with the rights. I'm going to say that one more time. No city, no state, no government. Nobody can give you any rights. You're born with rights. If you walk out your house and go out there on the sidewalk and walk down the street to your neighbor's house, where's the legislation? Who is it? What kind of stuff is on the books that come from your creator and say you can't do that? No, it doesn't exist. And your right to travel falls into the same category. But what has happened is there are people who have saw a way to benefit and profit by offering you a privilege to replace your God-given right. And a lot of us are accepting this privilege that we think is the law. No. Another thing is you don't have any right if you cannot enforce them. If you don't stand up for your right and enforce your rights, you don't have any. It's just like not even having any rights. You have the right to travel. And what I did was I exercised my right to travel. And I did it in a way that was non-combative, standing straight up as a man to man, and it was read, received, understood, and acted upon by the powers that be. The first thing that I did was I learned everything I could possibly learn about myself, my ancient story, my ancient culture, because that is where your power comes from. When you embrace knowledge of self, you learn everything about yourself, everything that you can possibly know about your ancient culture, then you got something to talk about. So when somebody come to you with something that you know that is not in line with what you know for a fact, then they got a problem. And I think one of the problems that we are having as people of African descent inside the United States is we have not taken the time to understand this information. A lot of us believe that if I can't make any money on it, or if I can't go to bed with it, if I can't drink it or smoke it, then I ain't got time for it. And then we wonder why we have no power. You have no power because knowledge is power, and knowledge acted upon is real power. So when you get that first, and then you got you some power. So now you're confident because you understand and some things about yourself. And actually, our ancient story is, in my opinion, the greatest story ever told. I'm still fascinated by the things that I discover even to today, and I've been studying myself for years and years and years, and I'm still coming to a fascination about different things, even today. Now, when it comes to exercising your freedom of right to travel, you have a right to travel. That need a driver's license, which is a privilege, is somebody that's being paid. If you're working for a company and they have a route for you to take and they got a truck for you to drive, you need a driver's license. You are operating in commerce. Okay, if you're a taxi cab driver, if you're a city bus driver, if you're a school bus driver, if you are a handicap bus driver, or whatever vehicle you're operating in commerce, that is when you can use the word driver. Okay. Now, when it comes to your personal vehicle, you're going to your mother's house, you're going to church, you're going to the store, you're going to the daycare, wherever it is that you're going, you are traveling. Nobody's paying you. But since we have this problem going on with the people who is taxing people who don't know the difference between traveling, we're going to have to turn this thing around for ourselves. And when I found out about the driver's license, just watching a video one day, and actually overheard a conversation on a video that I was watching about driver's license versus right to travel. And when I found that out, I began to do the research. I began to type it into Google. I began to read and study it and cases and do all the resources I could. And I said, I'm doggone. I said, isn't there something? I said, well, they got to be making millions of dollars off of unsuspecting people. And they're not coming out and telling anybody about the rights that they have. And I can't blame them for that, because there is no excuse for us not knowing the law. And we are where we are in this life because of the actions we have or have not taken. We need to start questioning some things. I remember when I was a young man, the only person back in the 50s and 60s, 50s, 40s, and back up in there, the only people that had driver's license was the police. They were operating in commerce. But then they realized that, wait a minute, we can turn this into a money-making operation here. Because these people, a lot of people say, well, I have constitutional rights, who have never read the Constitution. We have a lot of people that say, well, I believe in Jesus, but never read the Bible. I mean, it is amazing how we do things. I mean, we go to church every Sunday, sometimes 2 or 3 days out of the week, but have never stopped to take the time to read the Bible. It's a book just like any other book, and we would take a book on popular mechanics, we'll take a novel, we'll take a book on positive thinking, and we'll read the whole book. But when it comes to the BIBLE, basic instruction before leaving Earth, we won't read that one. We won't read it. It is amazing. However, we're talking about freedom of right to travel, so let's get down in there. This is what I did when it came to the freedom of right to travel. And keep in mind that in the first 30 to 45 minutes into this broadcast, after I'm done, that we can open up the phone lines. If you got questions, I'll be more than happy to answer the questions as best I can. Okay. The first thing that I done after finding out about we had this right to travel is I said, okay, well, if I found out through research that the United States operates on a continuous series of contracts and the corporation does not interfere with your right to make contracts, then every contract that I create is a contract for me, and I can enforce this contract. So I said, well, okay, well, that means I create my own identification. So that's what I did. I got a picture of myself. I got this book. I got all of my, I got a brief description of my ancient story as a Moor. I got all the Supreme Court rulings on my right to travel. Then I got a photograph of the identification that I was using, which just happened to be a world passport issued by the World Services Authority, which shows me as a man with my name in upper and lowercase letters and not a corporate fiction. And on the page 6, I had them put my estate information in there, and this passport is outside U.S. corporate jurisdiction. So I use that as an identification as well. However, in the book that I had with my ID in it, I had all my rights, all rights reserved, the UCC code. I also had a photograph of the vehicle. I had a photograph of the manufacturer of the vehicle. I had a photograph of a license plate that I had simply typed up on my computer, and this was my contract reserving my right without prejudice and to put this information on my vehicle. All this stuff was put in place on my desk. Now, what I want to do now is I want to put the sheriff's department on notice of my intentions to exercise this right. And the reason I've done that, because we have people who don't know that are out there with guns and badges, and we have people on the pavement riding in cars with property that belongs to somebody else. Okay, if you take a driver's license, you got a public side on the front, and on the back you got a private side, but it tells you on the back of the driver's license is property of the so-called state right there. That's not your property. It's got a so-called photograph of you, and then you turn around and sign it, and your name is in all capital letters there. You agree to be the fiction, and then when the man stops you, he asks you for that contract, and you give him that contract. Okay. Well, I started counting up the cost for their privileges versus my right that I was born with. And I discovered that was too much money for me to pay. I said, we're going to stop this business here. So what I did was I drew up an affidavit for the sheriff. And later on in the broadcast, I'm going to let you see exactly, or read that out exactly so you see what I did with that. But I put him on notice of what I was doing, what my intentions was. And, of course, he did not like that. He thought I was after him. I reckon that's the way I perceived it. And he went and took it over to a law firm. And when the law firm contacted me by letter involving it, what I done was I dealt with them the same way I dealt with him, because the first person you're supposed to know is yourself. I use the same tactics that I've always used growing up as a kid. There were times when I had to fight several men at one time. And I always had a strategy from doing that, even starting in third grade. I had 3 men that didn't like me because Margaret liked me, and she was the prettiest little girl in the school, and these little guys that liked her didn't like the idea she liked me, so they decided they want to beat me up. So the first thing I did when we got over there, I took the fight and set the battle in array. Went over there and about a dirt pile. I picked up a handful of dirt and threw it in Smokey Eyes and took him out the contest. Slapped James, knocked him over, and Frank started running. And so that was the end of that. So I used the same strategy with in dealing with them. When the sheriff contacted the law firm, and the law firm contacted me and told me that they was collecting on behalf of the sheriff, I took them and threw them up under the bus and dealt with them specifically. And so as I finished with them, I had no problem with that. So now I'm officially ready because I gave him my affidavit. I gave him 30 days to respond. He didn't respond. He's turned it over to a lawyer. They tried to respond, so I got them. And then I didn't send any notice of false or anything. I put my stuff on the truck, and I got out there on the pavement. And now I'm officially looking for the police because I need to test this out. I got my own ID. I have my own knowledge of self. I got my own plates on the vehicle. And the first set of police that I run into were DEA agents, and I just happened to pull up to a store, and they were getting out the vehicles with the DEA uniforms on, the gun and badges and all that, and they went in the vehicle, went inside the store. And I went in, and I was behind them. They got what they got to get and come out, and I hurried up and got out and jumped in my vehicle, and I pulled out in front of them up to the stop sign so they can pull directly behind me and pull me over. However, they didn't do that. They went around me. They was looking at me. I'm looking at them, so they decided not to stop me. So I got to go look for some more police. So I went in. It took me, I think, about 4 days, and finally I got one to stop me at the post office. And I pulled around into a little restaurant, and they called all this crew and all that. And I got a chance to give them the information, and it was a Caucasian cop, and it was a brother. And when the brother got a hold to my information and looking at my book and stuff, he he got out of the car. He called me and said, hey, man. He said, man, come here, man. He said, what is this, man? He said, I ain't never seen nothing like this. I said, well, that's involving my culture. I said, that's my story. They got all you Supreme Court rulers right there. I said, that guy right there that you riding with, I said, he ain't got no history. So he stole yours. And, of course, he got mad about that, but he didn't say anything. But then they called all the backup and everything. And when the backup came, they had to leave one by one. So finally, he decided to, well, I'm going to write you a ticket anyway. I said, that's all right. You write a ticket. I'm not here to argue with you. You got a gun and a badge, and I don't. So it's no need for me to argue with you, you know. And he didn't like that either. So they wrote a ticket, and I took the ticket and just wrote across the face of a no contract, refused the contract denied, and attached a certificate of service to it, and give it to the clerk's office and left it alone. But what I discovered was after that, they was trying to see if they could roll me another way, so they stopped me again. But this time they had over about 35 or 40 polices up over, and I pull over in a bar lot, and it was this big, tall, older gentleman that came up, and he wanted to see my credentials. And a policeman that stopped me, he gave him my credentials, and he looked at it, and he come over to the truck and looked at me, and he gave back to him, and I can hear this guy. He said, look, man, he said, y'all can do what you want to do. He said, but when he starts suing, he said, he ain't going to get me. I'm out of here. He left, and all the big barrage of police left, and I was left standing there with the man that pulled me over, and he told me, said, well, look, you know, I could take you. Yeah, I said, man, you can't do nothing. Give me my stuff, man. And I got in my truck, and after he gave it to me, and backed up and pulled off and left him standing there. But and that was the end of that, because I discovered that when I started riding down the road, even if the popo was in front of me, there were no more red lights, with nobody pulling me over, and of course, after all of that, it wasn't no more fun. Until I got in my latest car, and I was riding down, and they pulled me over again, and I reminded them of who I was and what I was doing and how I was traveling and all that. And the sheriff had given them orders, okay, so he's, anytime you see this vehicle or that vehicle, do not stop that vehicle. Because I requested that he put me on a no-stop list. He didn't have to get a lawyer, but he decided he wanted to do that. It didn't work for him, however, but they put me on a no-stop list and then put my lady friend and her vehicle on the no-stop list, and that's the way it is till this day. And so without further ado, what I will do now is I will read the actual affidavit for you that I sent to the sheriff, and I will also go over the one that I dealt with the law firm with. But the most important thing that you have to remember is before you get out on that pavement, you want to just go ahead and put them on notice and reserve all your rights and all of that good business, and then you set. Now, this is an affidavit format. From a basic format, this information is inside my library. The actual documents are there so that you can, for those of you who have my master library, you can get in there and actually read this thing for yourself. That's at newdebtelimination.com. It says, Dear Sheriff John H. Rutherford. I got his address there. This is an informal attempt to settle a traffic case in regards to citation, and the citation number is there. On Tuesday, October the 9th, 2012, I was traveling up Edgewood Avenue in my wife's automobile when a man walked out into the street. Now, I want you to notice the wording of this stuff, because we have to learn the difference between an officer and a private contractor. All officers are elected officials. If you are an officer of a church, the people had to vote on you, you are elected. But the men out on the streets that's got guns and badges, these people are private contractors with bonds. They have not been elected, so I made sure he clearly understood that I knew the difference between an officer and an elected official, and I'm not interested in dealing with the men with the gun and badges. I'm only interested in dealing with the public official because he is responsible for their behavior. So this is the man that I want to go at, and I want to talk to him man to man. Okay. So when a man walked out into the street from a secluded side street and motioned for me to pull over to the shoulder of the road, and I did so after asking him why, because I did not see an injured party. I later learned contractor acting as an officer of the law. And I got his name down here and got his badge number, his troop unit, motorcycle tag number there. He was also with another contractor on a motorcycle. He asked me for property belonging to the state of Florida, a driver's license, which I do not carry or use for any purposes at all. However, I did give identification, a copy of which has been added to this informal request. I informed policeman, and his name is there, and his partner that I was exercising my freedom of right to travel. By law, I was quickly informed that Florida law states that anyone driving on Florida highways must have a Florida driver's license, and I told them they were absolutely correct. And if they could please provide me with the name and address of the company paying me to drive. Needless to say, there was a minor misunderstanding on law versus statutes and ordinances. My objective in writing this affidavit to you, Sheriff, is to, number one, dismiss the bogus citation. Also, place me, a skilled teacher of law, on a no-stop list for exercising my freedom of right to travel. Below are my reasons why. My position today, as well as the date the alleged violations occurred, is the same. If ever a judge understood the public right to use the public roads, it was Judge Tolman of the Supreme Court of the state of Washington. Judge Tolman stated, complete freedom of the highways is so old and well-established a blessing that we have forgotten the days of robber barons and toll roads, and yet, under an act like this, arbitrarily administered, the highways may be completely monopolized. Through lack of interest, the people submit, then they may look to see the most sacred of their liberties taken from them one by one by more or less rapid encroachment. Robertson versus Department of Public Works, 180 WASH 133-147. The words of Justice Tolman ring more prophetically in the ears of citizens throughout the country today, as the use of the public roads has been monopolized by the very entity which has been empowered to stand guard over our freedoms, i.e., that of state government. Point one. Now, what I'm doing now is I need the sheriff to provide proof in this affidavit in the form of a rebuttal affidavit, rebutting the affidavit, to prove to me which one of these points is a lie. Okay, here we go. Point one, where is my understanding that it is unlawful to convert a right into a crime? Please provide proof of claim of the signed original bill of exchange, a contract that my name is there, have with the Jacksonville, Florida Sheriff Department, which could justify a debt of $129 for exercising my freedom of right to travel. Boom. Point two, personal liberty largely consists of the right of locomotion to go where and when one pleases, only so far restrained as the rights of others may make it necessary for the welfare of all other citizens. The right of the citizen to travel upon public highways and to transport his property thereupon by horse-drawn carriage, wagon, automobile is not a mere privilege which may be permitted or prohibited at will, but the common right which he has under his right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Under the Constitution guarantee, one may therefore, under normal conditions, travel at his inclination along the public highways or in public places, and while conducting himself in an orderly and decent manner, neither interfering with nor disturbing another's right, he will be protected not only in person but in his safe conduct. Emphasis added. Juris First, Constitutional Law, Section 329, page 1135. Please provide proof of claim, a copy of the signed contract from the Florida Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, which should clearly state all rights granted, including my freedom of right to travel, has been made void and replaced by a privilege to drive under law. Boom. Point 3. The term driver, contradiction to traveler, is defined as driver, one employed in conducting a coach, carriage, wagon, or other vehicle. Bouvier's Law Dictionary, 1914 edition, page 940. Notice that this definition includes one who is employed in conducting a vehicle. It should be self-evident that the person could not be traveling on a journey but is using the road as a place of business. Please provide proof of claim, the name and address of the company that paid me, and I got my name there, for driving or doing alleged incident which would have demanded a driver's license be presented to the policeman contractor. And his name is there and all this information is there. Boom. And this thing goes on all the way down to, we got, let's see how many points in here that I need him to rebut and prove to me beyond any shadow of a doubt that they are lies. This is 20-point affidavit that was sent to the sheriff. It was signed, notarized, and stamped, and after it was stamped by the notary, I had my constructive notice of a child of God status added, and it was re-stamped by the notary again, and it simply reads this way: whereas the United States of America is a nation founded upon the beliefs and principles of the supremacy of God and the rule of law, and whereas the number 2 position in that hierarchy is not claimed by anyone, and whereas the governments of this nation seem to rely on deception to gain the power to govern, and whereas I, my name is there, desirous of living my life as a child of God, and whereas the only power able to claim any authority over a child of God is God, and whereas neither the government nor its authorities nor its representatives or employees of God are above God, and whereas by legally claiming the number 2 position in this above-mentioned hierarchy, I, my name is there, occupy a position above all governments and their agencies, employees, and representatives. Be it known to all, to any and all, that on this date, October the 12th, 2012, my name is there, free, living, breathing being, a free man on the land, do hereby lawfully claim the status of God. Any human being, a person, official, who wishes to claim any authority over me must first prove they exist above God, they are God, or they are between me and God, or they have a document upon the face of which can be found the veritable signature of God. Failure to first do one of the above-mentioned things means all claims to authority is abandoned and is unlawful. Attempting to exercise any authority over me without first fulfilling one of the 4 above-mentioned requirements is an unlawful act of fraud and extortion. And this was sent to the sheriff, certified mail with return receipt. And I was able to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish using these documents. Now, later I'll get to the one on the lawyer, but my point is this. You have to remember that the United States operates on a continuous series of contracts under what is commonly known as contract law. The problem has been most of us, we constantly receive contracts that are created by other people, and we attempt to fulfill the obligations of these people based on the contract they did send us. And we have not been fashioning and formulating our own contracts and sending this stuff the other way. And it is to your advantage, once you understand contract law, to do this. Okay? I don't, when something comes to my house, because I don't hardly ever get anything now. I guess they try to mess with me because I always fight back. But when you get something from somebody in the mail, you get something from a phone company, if you get something from the light and water company, or if you get something from the mortgage company, that's these people contracts. And anytime they want to create a contract, that contract is designed to benefit them, not you. But what's to your advantage is they are good at sending contracts to you. But when contracts start coming back the other way, they don't do so well. And that's to your advantage, you see. I was able to do the same thing in regards to my mortgage. When I found out that was a lien, I got rid of that. And you go there to my wall, to my website, newdayelimination.com, and I scroll down and you'll see the confirmations from the county recorder's office on that. I did not put the actual documents of surrender that was sent to me by the mortgage company itself, because it was very brief to the point, but it had all my personal information on it when I started, because I want to make this stuff public so you can actually see it for yourself. But I discovered after I had took a marker and removed, darkened all the personal information, it wasn't worth reading. So I decided, well, I can't put that up there. I said, well, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put the county recorder's information up there that clearly showing you that it was a done deal. And it was all done by me using the contract law and understanding contract law. You don't have any rights if you cannot enforce them. And we're not talking about being violent. We're not talking about arguing with police officers. We're not talking about doing any of that. We only want to put them in a position because you are right, God's law. And when you put them in a position based on the truth, and they're forced to violate righteousness in order to condemn you, you're in the catbird seat. But you got to know how to operate the controls. So when I understood that the sheriff was the elected officials, and these guys with the guns and badges out there on the streets, these are private contractors. Okay, they got a bond. They took an oath. I ain't going into all of that. The only thing I need to know is who's responsible for their behavior. That's the man I want. I don't want no peon. I'm going straight for the head honcho. And that's what I did. Now, and I sent him all the information. So what he did was, when he realized that I only mentioned the other guys, but what I'm going to deal with is I'm going to deal with the man who is the elected official, because he's responsible for the behavior. He is the officer of the law. Okay? The rest of these guys are just private contractors, so we don't want to mess around with them. Now, in a situation when you're trying to do this, this is how I did it. But you'll discover that in certain places across the United States that they're trying to be kind of hard on you. But if you understand what I'm telling you now, that is an excellent strategy. Now, you can reserve your right if you are violated. These people have repercussions. In other words, you can say, well, I reserve the right to recover damages if I'm detained, any amount of $5,000. I also reserve the right if I am handcuffed in the amount of $5,000. I also reserve the right if I'm placed in a cage with bars and concrete any amount of $5,000. If I'm not taken to a magistrate's office prior to being taken to a prison, I reserve the right to in the amount of $5,000. If my human rights are violated, I reserve the right to recover damages in the amount of $50,000. If my right of indigenousness is violated, and I reserve the right in an additional $50,000. And you can add this into your affidavit, and you can serve it on these people, and you're making this particular individual, who is the officer of the law, personally responsible for the behavior of his men, and you're requesting inside your affidavit that he put you on a no-stop list. Now, it's before we go any further, if there's anybody that got any questions, if you want to ask questions, go ahead and raise your hand, and switchboard operator will open up the lines, and I will answer the questions that you may have as best I can. Okay? Now, as far as the law firm, we got one at 678 with a hand raised. As far as the law firm is concerned, I want to deal with them on a totally individual basis. Totally. The first thing I did with them is I went and looked up everything I could possibly find on this law firm. I'm not going to their website. I'm going to go to the complaint department, and I'm going to gather all of the complaints that other people and individuals have had against this particular law firm. And then inside my master library, I have what's called a blast letter. Now, that blast letter contains all the name, city, state, and zip code of every major magazine and a talk show, including 60 Minutes in America. And I reserve the right to send that over there, have them exposed in that manner. Also, I also sent them an affidavit with the same 20 points directed at them, because I need them to rebut the same 20 points that the sheriff didn't rebut. And I'm giving them the same length of time. So what happened in that case is the law firm had to tell the sheriff, look, man, this dude acting like we are the ones that stopped him and tried to write him a ticket. So we're backing off. You on your own. And so if anybody else had to jump in it, I would have did the same thing. However, that was my strategy in dealing with the situation, and that's how I handled it. And people would see me riding through the streets with my plates on it, and they asked the cops, asked me, well, why did these people don't stop you? I said, no, they don't stop me. And one guy, I went up to the car wash, and I had to go in and talk to a lady inside the car wash in the little office they had. And the guy that owned the car wash, after I had parked and went inside, the police come up on the lot to get his car washed. This guy got the police and took the police over there to my vehicle and showed them my tags on my vehicle. But before the cop, I was watching them. Before the cop got all the way up there, the cop stopped with him shaking his hand and backing up, going the other way. And when I come outside, he said, man, hey, man, he said, what? The police told me that he don't mess with you. I said, well, okay. And he said, well, what's going on? I said, well, I certainly can't tell you, because you just trying to see the police on me. I left him without any knowledge. Left him alone. Standing right there. But anyhow, that's how that went. And what I will do later on in the broadcast, I'll read the letter that I sent to the law firm involving the same thing that I did with the sheriff. So if you got a question, now's the time to raise your hand, and I will answer the question that you have. Some of you may want to know about the courtroom and stuff of that nature, but I don't go in there. Anything that's sent to me from the sheriff's department, I handle it in contract law, the same as I always would. They came at me with sending me a notice telling me that they had a capious for my arrest if I didn't do this, that, and the other, that I would be arrested. So what I did is I took it and just wrote across the face of no contract, refused the contract, attach it to an affidavit, and send it on back over there to them and say, I need you to do this right here one more time, and then reserve the right to sue you if you interfere with my God-given right. Okay? I also reserve a right to file a UCC lien against your bond. If it's an attorney, a lien against your bond and your bar card, and I also reserve the right to lien all held assets, silver, gold, house, cars, boats, furniture, all paper assets, all other private and public assets, or whatever else you got. All this is written into the contract that I'm formulating, and I need them to let me know that they've received my contract. Send that to them certified mail with return receipt. And, of course, they cannot sit in and get it. I made them an offer. They accepted the offer. Now they're obligated to perform under the contract. And that's the way I see it, and that's the way I do it under the terms of contract law. I use what's called an administrative process. When it comes to my mortgage, pretty much the same thing happened. I never got a chance to send a notice of fault. In fact, on the day I sent the notice of fault, the mortgage company already surrendered. And I had got up that morning and got it all notarized, took it to the post office, sent it to them. But that afternoon, on the same day when the postman ran, he brought me their surrender. And 3 days later, the county gave me confirmation of the fact that there is no lien anymore, and they will not foreclose, period. No more money, no more mortgage, no more nothing. End of story. And you can hear the testimonies from other people doing other broadcasts that I have, but Morris Talk Live 100. Area code 443, Sharif Ali, what's on your mind?
What's going on, brother? We are getting ready to take our first caller here. Tori, she is calling and asking a question about where should she send the affidavit. So, Sister Tori, You can feel free to go ahead. You are live.
Yes. My question to you is, where do we send the affidavit when it is referring to being detained by the police or something like that, not foreclosures? I got what you just said about the foreclosures. But when you're talking about the administrative process, does it go to the governor? Does it go to the sheriff? What is my process for that? And then the actual to whom once we send it to those entities?
Okay. Now, in what you have to do is, I think in some little small towns, we have different people in charge. In Jacksonville, Florida, we have the sheriff, and he's in charge of the police force. And keep in mind, he was elected. He's an elected official, so he is an officer of the law. What we are looking for is we are looking for the officer of the law, because he is responsible for the behavior of his men. If you hired me to put a roof on your house, and I signed a contract, and I had 10 men with me, and I left the job and left them 10 men putting on the roof, and one of the men messed up on that roof and didn't do the job right, neither of those men are responsible. I am, because I'm the one you signed the contract with. I'm the elected official. And this is what we have to understand in dealing with them. We don't want to go after any policeman. We want to go after the officer of the law. So if you have a sheriff, that's who you're going to direct that to.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome, sister. Any more questions out there, go ahead and raise your hand, and I'll answer your question. Okay. Now.
Okay, I think we got another one. We got a brother who wants to know how to enforce his right in court. Right now, brother, you live. You're on.
Peace.
Okay, well, hey, brother.
Yeah. Yeah, my question was, how to enforce it, because they threatened me with charges of being a paper terrorist if I filed any more motions or actions.
Okay, now, first of all, I try to get people to understand that under contract law, and what we have is offer and acceptance. So you receive something from these people instructing you to come to court. Is that right?
Right.
Okay. And so you assume that you was going to go to court. So let's when we look up the court, first of all, we got to understand that these people, this is not a court of law. What we have is actually pretty much a circus. We have magistrates masquerading as judges. We have everybody down there is wearing a costume. You got a judge, he's got on the costume, he's wearing his robe. He's acting as a judge, but he's a magistrate. And you got the bailiff, you got the policeman. He's in with a costume on, with a badge and a gun and utility belt and all this business here, and all these things. So they have extended an invitation to use the contract. And so what you have done is you have agreed to contract when you show up. So what I would do if I was sent anything from them in regards to me coming to court, that's the first thing that I'm going to deal with right there when I get that information. I'm going to formulate my contract, my rebuttal.
I'm sorry, I missed that last sentence. You said you wouldn't do what?
I'm going to formulate my contract and my rebuttal to the situation and explain to them exactly what's going on with it, and I'm going to send that to them.
Okay.
I'd respond to their contract. They made me an offer. Okay. They go inside the courtroom. The judge say, "Well, look, I'm gonna have to give you some time." Well, you have to object. A judge, with all due respect, sir, I'm have to refuse your benefit privilege of jail time. But before you get there, you wanna deal with the actual letter that they send to you, the offer to treat right there. You want to deal with that right in the privacy of your home. But what we have been doing, and we have been assuming that these people, this whole situation is lawful. If you have a right, and what is it about? Is it about driving or traveling, or what's your case about?
Now, my case is child support, and it was arrears. But see, I had my child, although, basically my son's mother wouldn't let me see my son unless I kept paying. So he lived with me for like...
What was you paying? You were giving them fiat currency?
Yes.
Well, so they were requesting that you give them property that belongs to the Federal Reserve that has absolutely no gold behind it. So it seemed to me you was playing a game with them because you were giving them monopoly money, but you was expending real money for it by expending your human energy, which is real money, your freedom.
Exactly.
Okay. So once again, we got to examine the situation, and we're gonna have to use contract. Because the debt they're claiming that you owe is questionable.
Yeah, so they said I can't question the debt even though I have my child because, I never changed the child support order. But I'm like, she was, right.
Well, why don't you, and this is the way I view things. Everybody have their different strategies, but this is the thing that I do. This is just my personal strategy. If you were child support enforcement and you sent me something from child support enforcement involving a child that I brought into the world, that you have been in cahoots with somebody on a birth certificate and a fraudulent situation on there, and you are claiming that I owe you about my child, The first thing I want to know is, who are you? Because I'm going to deal with you man to man. And I need you, and this ain't about violence or nothing like that. I'm just, just man to man. I'm going to deal with you man to man. I need to, you claim I owe you a debt. I need you to, I'm bringing the debt into question. I need you to answer a few questions for me. That's how I'm going to deal with that. And I'm going to send you a copy. I'm going to have a copy. And then when it boils down to, I need you, I don't care what you say or what you do, I'm going to need you to answer these questions for me. This is how I deal with them. It doesn't matter who it is. The housing inspector came here. They did him the same way. He came here on behalf of his boss. I said, I'm not here. I need you to tell your boss. So and so and so. Here go my credentials right here. Tell him I'm looking forward to dealing with him, man to man. And by the time I got through with that, that was the end of that. Now, I don't deal with no peon. You say I owe you, I got to pay you about some children that I brought in the world that I take care of. First of all, I take care of my own children. So I don't need you to dictate nothing to me about that. Not in no angry tone and anything like that. Be polite and courteous, but just like a man.
Yeah.
So you agreed to go into their system, and now you went into their contract. They contract with you. You agreed. You can't get mad with them, and now you got to figure out a way how to get up out of it. But the first line of defense.
I'm not mad. I know it's a contract, and I understand that I entered into a bad contract because at that time I did not know how to fight. I'm just saying, now my child's grown, and they credited me for the years that he lived with me, and then she went back and. But she's an officer too, so it gets kind of complicated. They just kind of fight me more,
Well,
so
find who's player in the game.
Yeah, but like I said, my thing was, when I want to do something else, I'm always thinking about, they promised me that they were going to charge me with paper terrorism the next time I filed anything. And so I'm like, well,
I'm not talking about filing anything. I'm talking about sending it straight to them. They send it straight to you. So whoever was sending to you, you should be talking to them.
Okay.
If a judge can, let me explain something to you. My youngest son went to court. And this judge, because the boy that he was fighting with, little Caucasian boy, his daddy was an admiral in the Navy and all this right here, he tried to throw the book at my son. But it just so happened one day, I was inside this convention center, and I was backstage, and I remember the judge. He was real nasty. And when I see he was backstage too, and I seen him, I said, "Ain't you a judge?" He said, "Yes, I am." I said, "You remember my son, and how you treated him up in that courtroom?" That judge struck out running, hollering and screaming, "Help! Help somebody! Help!" I tried to run him down, I couldn't catch him. He ran out of the prison, all the people looking, because I had it right there, it was just me and him, man to man. Now, when he was inside the courtroom, with all the guns and badges, that was a different story. But when he was faced with a man, he turned into a woman. So I deal with him that way. Everybody got their own strategies of dealing with people, how to deal with. But I like contract law, and I just need you to just tell me what part of what I'm saying to you is a lie. That's all I need.
Hey, brother, it's Sharif Ali. We're ready to go to a break, but one of the commercial maxims is the affidavit stands as truth until rebutted. So, that's why I love contract law, too. But we're getting ready to take a quick break here for all the listeners. The brother that actually had the question that you were just dialoguing with, we're going to bring him back in after this quick commercial break. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Tarhaka Morris Talk Live 100.
All right, bro. Go ahead.
High frequency radio. Sync up. Sync up. Sync up.
Welcome, bienvenidos, sock posse, wagwan, bienvenue, peace and love to all the rest of you. Welcome to the House of Liberation, where our commitment is to empower communities of all backgrounds and cultures. This is your sister, Mecca Ill, bringing you the live, bringing you the raw, bringing you the real. Please join us every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on High Frequency Radio, y'all, where we keep it on the cosmic flow, bringing your spirit, mind, body, and soul.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Morris Talk Live 100. Going over today, freedom of right to travel with Brother Tarhaka. Make sure you tune in to New Morris as well every week, Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Brother Tarhaka, you are back live, and I will be bringing that caller right in right now. Caller 1413, last four digits. You can continue dialoguing with Brother Tarhaka.
Okay, brother.
Okay. So I guess what you're telling me is I'm doing something. I've been doing things public that I should have been doing as a private action.
Well, yeah, we have public and we have private, but a lot of stuff to me is just right there on the surface, and you can take care of it just knowing how to formulate your own contracts and to serve your own contracts on these people. To me, basically, on the stuff that I have already done, I don't have any friction from these people anymore. They have, as large as the city is, they've gotten to know me personally. So they pretty much like, okay, we know that if we tamper with him, we're going to war on paper automatically. This guy, you know, because what you discover what they do, you have to understand that these people, they have your birth numbers, they have your social security number, they pretty much can pop you up right there on the computer, determine what kind of person you are, look at your background and all that. And I must say that we do have a little bit of the advantage here in this city when as far as I'm concerned, because a lot of the policemen that's on the police force, we grew up with. And so they know me and my family quite well, and they know what type of individual that I am and what type I've always been. And so, but still, you can understand these contracts and deal with these people from a contract basis. Now, private and public, you want to master that. You don't want to make the mistake of ever mixing any public into the private.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I see the problem I created for myself, because the motions that I file and the motion itself is public.
Well,
it is
what you're
public.
describing, what you're describing to me is you are in the boo-boo house, fighting to get out of the boo-boo house, and trying to learn how to do the best in the boo-boo house instead of not even going in the boo-boo house in the first place.
Right.
Because see, a lot of the stuff you could just do right off the top. You could just get something from a debt collector. He say, well, this is to inform you that we collected the debt and blah, 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 blah. Okay, we'll take it, and take the law that you know, Get your Black Law Dictionary, get all the information that you know, formulate you a contract, and put them on an affidavit, attach a copy of it to it, send them that, tell them, we need you to have to do right here on me. You discover 99% of the time, that's the end. That's
and
that.
Also, if I can interject, Tarhaka, when he says contract law is private law. So when you are formulating a contract, you're exercising a private right. I think a part, and I had to discover this my own self. I had to finally figure out that you don't want to participate in any of their processes. When you start using any of their codes, statutes, rules, regulations, any of that stuff, you are giving them jurisdiction to make determinations over that. At the onset, when you're talking about a right to travel, what you're saying is, I don't have nothing to do with any of that stuff over there that y'all are doing, and they need to receive some sort of notice to that effect, whether it be a letter or a contract. And he's right, it should be a contract, or I'm reading this thing on abatement right now. It's abatement. But you serve process upon them privately. You don't file anything into the court. You send it to them in their private capacity, and you let them know that, hey, I'm a private individual. I have a right to travel. I don't know what all of this commercial stuff is that you're talking about, but you're infringing upon my God-given right to travel and move about the country. And if you continue to do that, there are going to be consequences that you're going to have to deal with for that. And it kind of basically breaks down to that, is that you don't, we really ain't supposed to be doing nothing in their courts, not even coming in their courts, period.
Exactly.
For nothing.
I don't go in there for nothing. That's what I'm trying to get the brother to understand. What I try to deal with is try to make it.
Here's my question though. When they don't, I'm in an area where they just going to test you, and they're not going to comply. They're going to see what you do next. So my point is, when they don't comply, then when you enforce your right, it just seems like at some point you're back at court. Like, say if you lien somebody because they failed to actually go by, contract law. Then
let me give you a scenario. Let me give you a scenario. Okay, let's say for instance, when I got out there on that pavement, the guy said, "Well, I'm gonna write you a ticket, and I'm gonna have to take you to jail." Now, when they stopped me, it was like I think it had to be about 11:30 in the morning. Okay, the first thing that I would have done is I would have informed him that, first of all, I cannot step outside the vehicle. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to open the vehicle for yourself, and you have to pull me out. And I would have added all that in, and then we have abduction. Now, if he was taking me to jail, and if he bypassed the magistrate's office and took me to jail, the fact that he had a weapon on his side, now we have abduction, and we have aggravated kidnapping and attempted murder. All of this goes into the affidavit, and then we reserving the right to seek damages and to lien the bond of the who? The officer of the law, not the man that's actually doing it. I don't want no peon. I want the man. I want the sheriff nut, and a vice, and I'll do the rest. That's what I want. So when you say to me that you have to go to court and all this, you don't understand what we're saying. And this is often accepted. It's all on contract. And you have to make these people understand that if they roll you, they cannot roll you without shooting themselves in the foot. And that's painful on every point. So we back to square one, and that is to understand law. We have to read. We have to understand the laws. You have to know your rights and that you can enforce.
Okay.
Otherwise, you don't have any.
I think I may understand a little better than you think. I'm just not explaining it right. See, because when you lien them, now it may not be true. Maybe these are just false reports. But supposedly, you know, when a lien is placed, supposedly in this area, they are rounding people up who do that, who put liens on elected officials, judges, so forth. And so then if they take you into custody, at that point, you're in court. That's what I mean. I don't mean just voluntarily walking in there.
Okay. So now all this occurred after the fact that you didn't deal with the initial contract that came to your house that they sent you. You understand what I'm saying? See, anytime you get something from a bill collector, debt collector, the sheriff's office, any of them, deal with the contract right there on the spot. Respond to that, turn it around, and respond to that point blank. Don't go out there, haven't done nothing, and get in the boo-boo house trying to fight in the boo-boo house. Stay out of there. Deal with it in the beginning. And do it right. And we have another cracker jack to jump out the box. Get them too. Don't leave no loose end. Don't say, well, I was dealing with the sheriff, but his lawyer done, he got a lawyer. So what? He take up the dump just like you do. He put his hands one leg at a time, just like you do. Deal with him, man to man. Just mouth to the art, understand that law, understand that contract, and get practice. Practice makes perfect. I walked into an airport going to Dallas, Texas, the 11th of July. I have a world passport, and I give him a passport to the brother. I done bought the ticket. I done paid for it and got past the airport. They sitting around to the security to go through there to board the plane. I got people in Dallas waiting on me to hear me teach and stuff. And they coming from Arizona. They coming from California. They coming up from Houston. They coming from Oklahoma. All over there. But this guy tell me, well, you don't have a state-issued ID. I said, all right, I'm not property of the state. Well, we can't let you run. I said, you sure about that? And I wrote down his name, and they went and got his little boss, and the boss came and said, well, we can't let you board because this is a state ID. I said, well, okay, well, I'm not here to argue with you. I just, if you don't mind, let me get your name. And I wrote his name down. And I went straight home and formulated an affidavit and started hunting for the elected official. I found John S. Pistol in charge of the Transportation Security Authority, and which is a part of a Homeland Security, and I sent it straight on to him. I need you to rebut this here from a partner. And he sent me 2 letters back, but no rebuttal. So now we're going into the notice of default, and we're going to ride this train until the cows come home. And then I've already put the blast letter in there, got it already set, this bomb cocked and ready to go off on it, man to man. All the way down to the graveyard. We be stumbling over tombstones if we have to, but we going at it on this one.
Awesome, Brother Tarhaka. Thank you so much for sharing. We have a sister calling from Illinois, Katira, and she just wants to comment on going over the right to travel and the success she's had. Brother Katira, you are live with Brother Tarhaka right now.
Hey,
how's everyone?
Okay, let us have it.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You sound a little bit muffled. Can you speak a little louder?
Hold on one second. Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, what I wanted to say was that I actually, when I first started learning about the Moors and that we were Moors, and this was in 2006, and that we had a right to travel and all of that, I got some Moorish plates made and put them on my vehicle, and I noticed everybody. I noticed the state, the Secretary of State, the sheriff, the police. It was like several entities that I noticed that I was going to be traveling like this, and just, based on the right to travel information that I had studied, and I had never had any problems.
Mm-hmm.
So
you put them on notice first?
I put them on notice first, yes.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
I never had any problem. Police would be behind me, never got stopped. I haven't been traveling since that time because my son actually crashed my vehicle, and I've made a choice not to get anything as of yet. So, but I just never received any issues. So when people say that they have problems, I'm really, I wonder whether or not they follow through on putting notice, because I realized that notice is the first thing. And
That's
before
correct.
I started traveling like that, I gave them an opportunity to rebut what I was going to do, and I never heard anything back from them. So I proceeded.
Okay. I certainly appreciate you coming in and giving that testimony, Sister, because you're absolutely correct. What we have to understand is the fact that I'm a Moor doesn't have anything to do with the right that all of us are born with, regardless of what our color is, our nationality is. You're born with a right to travel. You have a right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You have a right to your religious beliefs, your opinion, all of this stuff. And so, but we have to look at the reality of the situation. They got all these people out there that have turned this thing around. They got men out there with guns and badges. They don't know the law. And the last two that stopped me, I had to give them a brief education. And one of them told me, say, look, man, ain't no doubt in my mind. You tell me, you know this inside out. But I just do what my boss say. I say, that's right. I know that. And I ain't after you. I'm after your boss. That's the man I want right there. He said, whoo, thank God for that. But I think it will. You have anything else you want to add?
No, that was it. I just wanted to let people know that you can travel. It was based on what I had learned at that time about being a Moor, but as I told you, it is, your right to travel is your right to travel. It doesn't matter what whether you're a Moor, Christian, or Hindu, or whatever. It's just, whether or not you study and notice information and move forward on it. But definitely notice it was the issue. It was noticing them before doing anything.
There you go. That's all you have to do. I thank you for calling in with that information, sister.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
Hey, Brother Tarhaka,
real
quick, I want to ask you a question, and this will help some of the callers on the line when it even comes to purchasing a vehicle. You know how they sometimes require you to present a driver's license to actually test drive the vehicle and things of that nature. So could you kind of go over that for some of the callers on the line, please?
Okay. All right. Well, first thing that we have to understand is what we have to realize is this. This system is a system in commerce. Everybody is trying to make a profit. Okay, so when you go and purchase a vehicle, they're going to automatically, and keep in mind what we understand about contracts, they're going to constantly get you to sign here, sign here, sign here, sign there, and you're going to sign the documents clearly registering the vehicle with the DMV. They're going to require a driver's license and all that stuff. Now, if you have understanding about the private side and you have mastered how to use your bonds and how to use your postal stamps, how to occupy the office of the postmaster general and all that stuff that you're going to be doing out there to do that. You can get the vehicle without giving them a driver's license. But you're going to also have to have some finesse and skills because, see, you can learn contract law and you can deal and negotiate with these people to the point you can get them to do what you want them to do if you have enough skill on how to do this, but you gotta be prepared to deal with it. Now, we're going to say that you already have the vehicle. You got a driver's license. You got the vehicle. The vehicle is registered with the DMV. So you go down there and deregister the vehicle with the DMV before you even get out on the pavement time to exercise in the freedom of rights to travel. You can also register the vehicle with your trust. You can make it property of your trust. You can stop them from searching the vehicle. But the key in this game, because this is a game just like any other game, it's called the law game. It's called the commerce game. The court is called the court game when you get up in there. All of this is a game. But when you master the rules of the game, then you can play the game and you can win eventually. But you want to win in the beginning by knowing the rules and regulations of the game. So if you got a driver's license, if you done put it in, put them on notice and stuff, and they still acting like they ain't trying to hear that, and they're gonna pull you over anyway. But you got to follow through on the affidavits that you have sent down there. So no matter what, when you send the affidavit to the sheriff and he doesn't respond, and you're still afraid to get out on the pavement, just follow up on your affidavit. You can send a notice of fault, an opportunity to cure. Then you can come back and make sure you got this on the calendar. You can send a notice of fault and dishonor. You can also put them on notice of the site that you are prepared to file a complaint and just stop short of the complaint, because the only thing that you want to do is you want them to back off and do not mess with you and your family members. You can list your family members in your initial affidavit. You can take their addresses, the vehicles, the license plates, all these right here, so they'll know who not to tamper with. Okay, you can do all these things because keep in mind that you are formulating the contract. This is your baby. You can put what you want to put in that contract. This is yours. The problem is we have not been formulating any contract. So when you learn that the United States Corporation does not interfere with your right to make contracts, sky's the limit. Do it how you want to do it. Lay it out. Just, this is your opportunity by law, according to the acts and stuff that's in place, for you to enforce your position and in your right. So when it comes to you having a vehicle and going to purchase a vehicle, you can do that one or two ways. You can purchase it with a driver's license and deregister it, or you can have enough knowledge and finesse and enough credentials to go in there and get that vehicle without a driver's license and deregistration. And you can check to see if it's registered with the DMV, and you can line it up. But it's all based on knowledge that you have about what you are doing. You cannot. This is not no situation where you just put some document out somewhere and stand back and wait on something to happen. It don't go like that. You're gonna have to have knowledge. You're gonna have to know this stuff, especially when you get out on the pavement going round and round with a man with a gun.
Hey, you telling the truth right there. That's why we focus on rules of the game. And it's funny, even just hearing you go over some stuff right now, I really hear you talking about not just contract law, but trust law, because, it talks about a trust is a contract. So it's so great to hear you talk about that. We're actually going to take a break in about 5 minutes, but I want to bring in Sister Dynamite from Palm Beach, and she has a question to you about noticing and things of that nature. So here she is, Sister Dynamite. You are live.
Hello.
Hey, Dynamite.
How you doing?
I'm fine, sister. Let us have it.
Okay. Well, just yesterday I went to voluntarily surrender my license. Okay, and I went down to I didn't type up. I didn't do the administrative procedure perhaps like I should have. But what I did was I just went down there in the process of renewing my registration. I told them I don't want the license anymore. So I spoke with the manager. She typed me up a letter, and that's the letter that I used to drive with. On that letter it says, you have chosen to voluntarily surrender your license. We wish you the best of luck. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She said the letter said you've chosen to voluntarily surrender your license, and we wish you the best of luck. So now listening to the last young lady who was just on, she was saying that she put, the sheriff's, the police department, the secretary, everybody she put on notice. And I just wanted to know how the procedure that I should go. How soon, I know now I should be putting, the law enforcement here where I am on notice. Is there any certain way that I should go about doing this, or,
Well, you got the answer right there in your hand. If you turn in the driver's license, they wrote you a letter. Use it. Take that formulation. Draw attention to the letter. Say, look here, Governor, Secretary of State. Look, and this is what the letter is already stating out here. But we've already done this right here. Blah 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 blah. This is what I need you to do. I'm coming through your town. I'm coming through your state, and I need you to put all your soldiers on hold. So Dynamite coming through, and we don't need no blue light, and we don't need all that. We just come to do what we got to do in the story. There you go.
That's simple. Okay. Well, I will do that. And you're right about the contract. You're so right. It's so much power in that contract, and I'm learning that. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, Sue. I thank you for calling in.
Okay. Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
All right. Okay. Brother said we're finna go on break in 5 minutes, and when we come back, we'll deal with the law firm from the sheriff down here that I did. And you have to keep in mind, this was back in 2011 and 12. This was my crude way, and it was primitive, but based on my own personal nature, this is what I used to beat them with, to the point that I went downtown and parked my vehicle in front of the toll meter, and got out of it and walked into the bookstore, stayed in there 2-3 hours. And when I came out, they had tickets on everybody else's car that wasn't that overstayed their parking, but wasn't nothing on mine. So I think the word that went out a little bit further than I thought. And but because just like I say, for me, as I did all that there, it wasn't no more fun. So they weren't cutting on no more lights, and they were like, oh my God, here you go, move out of the way, boo. He ran the stop sign. I didn't see him running the stop sign. What you talking about? But all that is there in place. Now, accident and owning your vehicle and putting them on notice. If you get a second vehicle, put them on notice. Take photographs of it. Make sure that is visible. And always, all rights reserved without prejudice, UCCC 1-203-302. Do your thing on that. Make sure that's down and visible. You can just write or put on the back of your tag, I'm traveling, I don't drive. Or whatever you want to put on there. That's up to you. On mine, I had indigenous more. So in the first thing my sign was saying was that we have a problem. He don't know how to spell indigenous. So you think. But anyway, they were trying to figure out what was going on, and that gave me an opportunity to put them on notice of the coming of the Moors, one who are masters of law, and all of this stuff. So that plays into your favor as well. The fact that you are more doesn't have anything to do with your right to travel. That's just a God-given right. Your rights are God-given. There's nobody that can give you any rights, and at the same time, you don't have any rights if you can't enforce them. The whole country operates on a continuous series of contracts and under what's called contract law. If you just understand that and start dealing with these people, when they send something, when the mailman bring it to you, and you open it up and they send you something, jump on it. Deal with it immediately. Stay out the circle. Stay out the courthouse. There's a circle down there. They got everybody in costume. You go to the circle, the clowns got on costumes, the ballerinas got on costumes, the lion tamers got on costumes. Everybody got on costumes. The same thing down there. What you going down there for? You deal with that right there at the house. Reserve all your rights. Make sure that everybody understand that if you wrong me, if you do this, that, and the other, you cannot do this without repercussions. Here's my contract. I need you to rebut this affidavit right here. You discover a lot of cases, you don't hear from them no more.
That is true. And it's so important, Brother Tarhaka, for us to put out this message and not a way for people to get enough information so they can just get out of paying tickets or get out of doing things because they don't have the know-how. Like you say, it's about standing on principles and standing on, actually, like you said, you don't have a right if you don't know it. So if you can't enforce it, So it's just really important for everybody to know that we don't need to be dependent on Brother Tarhaka. We need to be dependent on ourselves, and that's Islam at the highest extent. So we're going to take a quick break, Brother Tarhaka, a couple seconds, and then actually Sister Tori called back because she actually had some comment on acquiring vehicles and doing things of that nature as far as providing a remedy for that. So after this quick break, we'll bring her in and go from there, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you, everybody, for listening to High Frequency Radio, Morris Talk Live 100.
High Frequency Radio. Sync up.
Welcome, bienvenidos, Sakpase, will go on, bienvenue, peace and love to all the rest of you. Welcome to the House of Liberation, where our commitment is to empower communities of all backgrounds and cultures. This is your sister, Mecca Ill, bringing you the live, bringing you the raw, bringing you the real. Please join us every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on High Frequency Radio, y'all, where we keep it on the cosmic flow, bringing your spirit, mind, body, and soul.
Peace to all the guys and goddesses. Thank you for calling High Frequency Radio or tuning in online. High Frequency Radio with Brother Tarhaka going in today about the right to travel and how to enforce it. Right now we're bringing in caller Tori. She has some comments once again about the acquiring of vehicles and dealerships. So here she is. Sister Tori, you are live.
Yes. I just wanted to make the comment that the sister was talking about getting the letter from the DMV once she rescinded her license. But basically I think the whole premise of why you guys exist and why you've been teaching what you're teaching is the truth, and we should go back to doing our own. Well, I began to start to, years ago, though, selling cars, and, I came into some knowledge about how to acquire the cars in bulk, and so I only usually do it like once a year. But as a finance company, because that's what you are when you're a secured third party, you're a finance company, and you agree to basically, I pre-sell these cars prior to actually going to the person that I use, who has a dealership. That means he holds a license. He's a Caucasian person, but he holds a license. I don't have to hold a license. All I had to become was an affiliate, meaning to be able to move the car from one place to the next. Meaning the person I come with, what they wanted was a negotiable instrument. And the thing that Yusuf taught us is that basically on the negotiable instruments you have void where prohibited. Well, that's key, because if the person is not going to accept your negotiable instrument, which is that is your form of money, then they don't have to accept it. Then you just keep it moving. But if you've already had a prearranged agreement, and that is what contract law is based on, these agreements between two people, two human beings, not entity and entity, but two human beings, and you can actually use the UCC process to make payments from your trust to that particular individual who is another person that's just like you, and they receive payments from you based on your trust. And so anyway, that is how you basically pay for this vehicle, and you drive away with all of the things that she said and what everybody else is doing, that all those processes are secured party processes. And if you, like he said, overstand it, meaning take the time to break down and listen to every person that has a little bit of knowledge to add to your situation, then you can have things proper given to you in the proper way. Houses the same way. Like, for instance, there is no such thing as a mortgage, but yet you can acquire property the actual same way. It actually is paid from your private trust because you moved your money where you were supposed to move your money, and that's in the private, not in the public. And you can buy anything that you want. However, and I say this because I was a licensed person that did this kind of thing, and then I moved into investorship and community building. I am actually a community builder. I do this for other people. I'm doing it for myself, and I think that's something that I just kind of wanted to put out there so that other people can begin to do these processes. When we talk about the creative power of the creator, then we need to get with the flow of creating these avenues for our people so that they don't have to go to the other people for anything. They can always have somebody in their repertoire that they call.
Well, I have to agree with you all 100%, and Brother Yusuf did teach you right. The only other thing that I'm faced with, there are a lot of people who have not fully understood private and public, and I'm working on that, and I'm trying to gradually get them into understanding this before I even bring it out. I'm sitting here with a big fat yellow envelope that I've had in my possession well over almost 2 years, where I can show you how to collapse the entire birth bond and have the Treasury Department come to your house and ask you what you want to do with the money. But my people ain't ready for that. So
oh no, they're not.
I just have to keep it elementary.
That was my question. I was going to ask you about where to send that, because I was actually thinking about doing that the other day. And I said, well, you know what? They're giving everybody else the option to collapse part of their birth bond, but they didn't talk about the other stuff. So I said, shoot, let me just go ahead and collapse the whole thing and just do what I want to do with all of it, So, yeah, I was going to ask you that question, but maybe in a private you can address me. I'll leave my email address with somebody so they can talk about that.
Well, the only other reason why I haven't exposed this information is because I had a gentleman up in New York City that told me, he said, now, I'm going to give you this. He said, but brother, he said, be careful with this because you can't make no mistake on this right here. And I looked over and I seen it and I said, okay. I said, we ain't ready for this. I said, what I'll do is I just put this on the side, and when I do it, if I feel like my people can survive it, the first thing is I feel like a lot of us, even if we ain't ready for this kind of power and this kind of money. I think it'll be more harmful. I think the first thing I need to deal with is self-image and attitude. Let's get that first.
You're exactly right.
Because I don't want to hurt. I mean, I could just take this, get on there, and drop this science and drop that science, but I feel like, the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time and one spoonful at a time if you're feeding the baby until they get it right. A lot of them out there, man, I'm ready. I said, no, you ain't. You can't stay already.
No.
What you talking about? You ain't ready. You get $100,000, you probably be dead in 3 weeks. Because I done seen it happen. I seen a woman,
that's true.
A sister got $2,500 turned the back on the woman she was living with, ended up in a hospital, just had a nervous breakdown, all of it $2,500. Then I seen another guy got $20,000 and killed himself with it. I said, no.
Well, what happened to me is that I began to expose that truth of what you were just saying. They began to come after me. And then they tried to, like Yusuf said earlier, they may try to make me their God. I'm not their God. I'm just the person that's pointing the way, you know, and,
exactly.
And you become an enemy of the state, and you almost can't live in the same house. You can't eat your food when you leave it. It's all kinds of stuff that comes to you like that. So you're exactly right. And the other thing is you have to make sure that your spirit is right, because you will retaliate with that kind of money. You would just annihilate those people. You know, there are people on the list that you got to do is just say a few things to them, and they'll go and get them. But that is not what the Lord would have you, the Creator would have you do, I know. So you're right. We're not ready for that. But however, privately, I would love to talk to you a little bit more through high frequency, and we can get it together.
All right. Well, my number is 904-303-9061. You can call me off the record, and we can discuss
off the record.
Yeah. I ran into this thing when I was a child. I went to my dad, and I told him, I said, Dad, would you buy me a BB gun? He said, yeah. I said, I'm going to buy you a BB gun, I'm going to buy your brother a BB gun. And I went home and told my mama, and me and my brother got in an argument. I said, when I get my BB gun, you're going to be the first one I shoot. My mama said, okay, that's the end of the BB gun. She went over and told her, oh, no, me ain't bringing no BB gun. And I got up Christmas Day, and I seen him leaving the driveway. I said, hey, where the BB gun? He blew the horn and kept driving. I said, well, Mama, what happened to the BB gun? She said, you forget about the BB gun.
Right. She saved you. It's okay.
You got another question, sister?
Oh, you know what? You were very thorough, and I just want to say thank you for being here, and thank you, High Frequency, for putting him on and giving him a platform, because basically these are all the last little bit of something that I needed, because that was my issue. Every time I'm driving, even though you said that's a commercial process, and I actually had a license, I was being pulled over because, like I said, the people were coming after me because they were upset with me about a lot of stuff that didn't have anything to do with them, and that was the only way to get back at me. So it put my family in harm's way, and there was a lot more involved in that. Now I know I can. Now I haven't driven in over 4 years now, and that is the reason why I kind of just really, when I say pull back totally private, I went totally private. Because I could not, the constant just bombardment of losing in the public forum, because I had a 5,400 square foot home, and I had 4 cars, and I had all of this stuff, and then it's like, okay, now I had to learn how to live again, and this is what gave me the forum and the lifestyle with learning these processes, is giving it back to me again, and I became a community builder. I began to help everybody. I began to help everybody that I maybe need to help, but I helped them anyway with the knowledge that I had already gleaned and knew. So, yeah, the youth helped. I mean, I really thank you for being here today.
Well, I thank you for dialing in, sister, and you're so right. You had your big home and all your cars and everything. You were just as public as you could be. And but that's all right. We're going to get it right.
Yes, we are.
Well, I thank you for calling in.
Peace, brother.
Peace, sister. All right. Let's deal with the other part of this thing. And I want to deal with the actual law firm. And remember, the way I do this stuff is if I'm dealing with a company, if I'm dealing with a president of a company or whatever, and he hires a law firm, we have a brand new fight. I'm going to deal specifically with that law firm as if it is the law firm that had the initial battle going. I mean, this is a total separate thing. I'm going to deal with them. I'm not dealing with them on no behalf or where, you with such and stuff. No, just me and you. You stand in front of me and you, man to man. We're going to deal with you. And I dealt with this law firm. I won't call their name, However, I used the same format for the affidavit that I did, and this is in regards case such and such and such, and I have this numbers and stuff down there, and I dealt with them the same way because I'm acting as though it is you that I'm dealing with here. Point 4, it seems only proper to define the word license, and so on, same thing with them. And I need the law firm to rebut these points just like the sheriff did. I mean, if you are, if the sheriff has given you power of attorney to defend him against me, well, that means that I'm fighting another man, and the same blows and punches and jabs and moves and stuff that I was dealing with the first man, I'm going to deal with them with you too. So when I dealt with the law firm, I looked at everything that I could possibly use to deal with the law firm. This does not include the fact that the sheriff hired them. I'm just dealing with you, man to man. And you'll discover that you can take these people out the fight. And when you get them out the fight, then the original man that you're dealing with, you are dealing with this man again. And so that's how I deal with any situation that I go on. I'm going to deal with the individuals. I'm going to deal with all of the parties as well. But I'm going to focus on the original people, and then I'm going to focus on separately anybody else that get into this particular fight. And keep in mind that all of this is happening right here in the privacy of my home. I'm dealing with contract law. All this is we're dealing with this battle. All this going on paper. There's a copy for you. There's a copy for me. Your lawyer sent me something. There's a copy for your lawyer. Here's a copy for me. And I'm accumulating this paper trail, and we're trying to settle this matter informally outside. I'm being as eloquent as I can, as factual as I can, and I need you to respond to this according to the laws that are in place governing the Affidavit Act, governing the right to travel that's ruled upon by the Supreme Court, governing every conceivable angle from this thing under contract law. This is what a battle is waged. This is war. We're waging these wars. He's sitting in their office. The sheriff is sitting in his office. The law firm is sitting in their office. I'm sitting in my office, and we are waging war. Now, there was never any court appearance. The war commenced. The war was fought. The battle was set in array. The battle was over. The war ended, and I won. Point blank. That's the way you deal with it. And so now you're officially ready to go out your resident, exercise your right. If it's a student loan, I need you to prove to me what kind of loan you gave me. And then we got to keep in mind, just think about this for a minute. If the United States of America filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 1933, and they come back, they got all the gold out of circulation, made it illegal for you to have it, and then they issued House Joint Resolution 192, and somebody say, well, you got to pay a ticket. Well, with what? How you going to, you mean to tell me that you want me to give you the Federal Reserve notes? That's property of the Federal Reserve, a private company. So if you telling me, if I'm down in the boo-boo house and you telling me, well, I'm going to fine you $2,500, $2,500 worth of what? Property belongs to the Federal Reserve? Is that what you're asking me for? Something that belongs to somebody else? Could you please put that in writing, Your Honor? Because I want to take that down, and I'm going to use that too. So this is just my way of dealing with these people. I don't go into the boo-boo house about nothing. I don't belong in there. I mean, court. What is court? When you, I have to commend my brother Yusuf, Because usually tell you, say, look up the word. When you look up the words that you are dealing with, and you get the full meaning of the words and stuff, you can use these. These are tools that you can use. You don't run out in the street talking about going to war with nobody with a 45. You ain't got no 45 bullets in there. Don't do that. And I'm trying to make this as elementary and down to the grind so you can understand what I'm talking about. You want to master this stuff, and then you want to master the use of the private side. Now, to make the private side real simple for you, every document has a public and a private side. If you got a driver's license, the front of the driver's license is public, the back of the driver's license is private. Front of the document is public. You can take a 3-cent stamp. If you send an affidavit, you can take a 3-cent stamp, go to the post office, get a 3-cent stamp, put that 3-cent stamp in the upper right-hand corner, sign your name through it. Now you're officially occupying the office of the Postmaster General. Send that at them. Put your stamp on the back. Put your stamps on the back of the document. Sign your name through that. And we private. Okay? See, there's so many little things that we can do to deal with these people. But you don't do anything unless you have the knowledge to do so. We got to get the knowledge. You can't get around that. There's no way to get around that and have success. We got to study this stuff. Get your Black's Law Dictionary. Right there in my library, I got the whole ton of Black's Law Dictionaries. You try to go online and buy one of them with $400-$500. I got volume 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down up in there. You can send a little $60 donation from the library. If you get any one of my packages, the library come along with that and no additional donation. But all your Black's Law Dictionaries are there. And anything that's not there, I fill in the gap. Call me because I help people walk through this stuff. But once you learn this stuff, and you have freed your mind, you know what will follow. So it's all in the educational about this stuff in the master contract law, and to learn how to use this stuff, because you see, you don't want to be an armchair professor. You want to actually go through the battle, because if you actually have done some things with the knowledge that you have, then you are now seasoned. It's just like a fighter in a ring. And you always hear fighters say, well, okay, he had 10 fights. He won them all by knockout. Okay, but he never went the distance, you see. So you cannot, even the best fighter in the world can't hope to knock everybody out if you don't train for a fight. You got to have experience. You got to set aside some time to study. You got to study this stuff, and you become an expert when you actually get a chance to use it. Now, we're not telling you to go out and mess with nobody, but we want you to just start right where you are. If you got bills coming in and debt collectors coming in and stuff, and you get this stuff in the mail, work with it. Get used to formulating your contracts and responding to these people. Stop sitting back and worried about, well, I got this thing, I got to run out and expend some more real money, which is your own human energy and freedom, and they're going to give me some fake paper, property of the Federal Reserve, and then I come back and pay this. we got to start doing that. We got to start thinking. Okay? All right. Now, if anybody else have any more questions, go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll open up the line so that I can answer your questions.
Yeah, we are actually. We do have another question. We're going to take it after the break here right now. I'm going to just go ahead and go through the break. Just to let everybody know that's listening to this broadcast, we are actually at High Frequency Radio having a UCC webinar this weekend on Saturday the 13th. It is at 8 a.m. Pacific time with David McDowell. He is a new host on the network, the CSPAR Limited. If you would like to get into that, we highly recommend that you email us at webinars@radiohighfrequency.com. and you need to type attend UCC in the subject bar. Once again, that is David McDowell, 8 a.m. Pacific time. He's going to be going over to UCC with a webinar, and you can type in attend UCC in the subject bar to webinars, that's with an S, at radiohighfrequency.com. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. You are listening to Brother Tarhaka on High Frequency Radio, Morris Talk Live 100.
High Frequency Radio. Sync up.
Welcome, bienvenidos, Sakpase, well go on, bienvenue, peace and love to all the rest of you. Welcome to the House of Liberation, where our commitment is to empower communities of all backgrounds and cultures. This is your sister, Mecca Ill, bringing you the live, bringing you the raw, bringing you the real. Please join us every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on High Frequency Radio, y'all, where we keep it on the cosmic flow, bringing your spirit, mind, body, and soul.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to High Frequency Radio with Brother Tarhaka, Morris Talk Live 100. Brother Tarhaka, you are on, and we will be bringing in Brother Hollywood from Georgia, and he's going to be going over, he wants to ask you a question about status as it relates to right to travel. Brother Hollywood, you are live.
Hey, what's going on, Tarhaka?
Hey, Hollywood, come on down, brother.
All right, yeah, I'm just trying to make sure now. When you did all that with your affidavits, did you already have your status corrected?
I had just learned about the Moors. I was still involved with it, and I had become a Moor, and but the way I dealt with your status corrected, because see, I don't need nobody to nationalize me.
Right.
When somebody nationalizes you, they own you. So what I did was I simply registered with the Moorish American government. I want to talk to the officials because I feel like if we have a government, then the best to know the officials of the government, and the government can get to know me personally, and then we know each other. To me, that is a real government. Now, we got the United States of America corporation masquerading as government, and we running out standing in the rain and the cold and sleet and hail and snow, and voting for government officials that don't even know us. And we go to the White House and say, well, look, I came to see Barack Obama. I don't have no invitation, but I voted for him. They put you in jail. So that, to me, that's so I went that route. And I was able to get to know the chairman and other officials and stuff. So when you contact the government officials with the Moorish government and you mention the fact that do you know a guy named Tarhaka Monel Bay out of Florida? Oh yeah, we know a person.
Right, yeah, I seen you on the news, man, with the news camera, and you drove off in the car. So I seen that little clip of the news on YouTube. But
okay.
My thing is, like, from the way I understand it, the way they doing everything anyway is through a trust, from the get-go, right? As far as the United States government. Like, far as how they operate.
Well, yeah, we got trust and stuff. They're dealing with trust and stuff, but there's something I want to say about trust, because a lot of people, you have people now who are taking trust and construing things and making it difficult for people. So we're back to square one of clearly understanding what we're dealing with and the terminology of what we're dealing with. Right. Because we got fat people that's used to getting paper and used to holding power and used to keeping the masses down. So when when their little system spring a leak, they quickly try to plug it up. They want to label people as paper terrorists and all of that. You can't label me as no paper terrorist. I ain't found nothing down there in your courthouse. But if you tamper with me, I just need to know who done it. Where you at?
Right. Always deal with the boss. So now my thing is, like recently, they sent us a modification for our house and all that. My wife, she ain't into this type of information, like was spoken on Yusef's show earlier.
Okay.
So, the bank sent out, she had me fill it out. I wouldn't go cry and beg over it because I can get rid of it later down the line if needed. So what I ended up doing, I signed it the appropriate way, reserving all my rights as authorized representative. So they send a letter back saying, hey, well, you're going to have to send a power of attorney saying that basically that you are the authorized representative to make decisions and all that. And so I'm looking like, are you serious? So I know what to do with that. But at the same time, it's just that, they want you to jump through hoops when you start doing stuff outside of what they normally see you doing.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm trying to tell you, man to man. Man, you're not talking to a man. You first thing you got to do if you know you're a man and you're a man, and first thing we want to have them put on the table is respect. If we have a disagreement, let's look for a way that we can settle the disagreement. Let's come to a conclusion, man to man.
Right. Because I got a little court case coming up on the 17th, so I got to go in there, and I guess do my thing or whatever. Waste their time because whatever as far as the charge, to go to van, not even there no more. So they don't even have that. Basically, how you going to find me for something that's not on the property anymore? So I might as well just come in and waste the court time and see what I can do with what I'm learning.
Well, now you got to keep in mind that these folks are in business to make money.
Right.
All right. So they have sent you an invitation. Just like if I was throwing a party and I invited you to the party, I send you an invitation. That's what that is. So when they send you an invitation to come to court about it, had you previously sent an affidavit to the bank about the situation? Did you formulate your contract?
Well, what I did, they sent me, the guy first, he sent me a notice for a junk vehicle. So what I did was sent it back to him in his proper person and everything. And so I guess that made him kind of mad. Then he came up like, hey, who's this and all that? So, I immediately engaged him. We had our little discourse. He called me a sovereign citizen. And I told him, I was like, hey, you need to refrain from calling me out of my name, calling me out of character. I was like, that's not professional and all that. I was like, I don't even know what a sovereign citizen is. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we go from there. And he said, well, do you have ID? I was like, no, I don't have identification. I was like, I don't have state ID. I don't have a driver's license. My driver's license is suspended, so I don't pay no mind to that. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that a little later, as far as that goes. So, he said, well, I need to see some type of identification. So I said, okay, well, you want to see some identification, huh? So I go grab my certificate of live birth, and I show him that. So he proceeds to, right. So he proceeds to write me a citation. And so now I had already told him, true indeed, this is the house where I inhabit. But at the end of the day, I know about residency and all that. So I'm like, no, I don't reside here. I was like, I live inside my body. I'm a spirit manifested into flesh. I was like, where do you live? You know what I'm saying? So he's like, oh, well, what he ended up doing, he took my name off the birth certificate, put it to the ticket. He did it all capital letters, everything. And then he attached that physical address to where he came to. So now I'm looking like, well, wait a minute. Now you're falsifying documents because that's not what I gave you. I got a Detroit birth certificate. So how are you writing Georgia information on something that I handed you that's clearly saying something from the state of Michigan? So basically, he falsified the evidence and everything. Now what I ended up doing was sending that ticket back, refused for cause, and, reserve my rights, all that, UCC 1-308 by, with my signature, authorized representative, except I sent it to the chief executive officer of the actual court building, like the head man.
Okay.
And, I did it, return receipt, all that, and he accepted it. So now, by law, acceptance is, hey, you took the ticket back. There you go. You basically accepted the ticket. So now, and I was looking through the UCC, and I was looking at something called transference of, I think it was transference of title. All this was, I think, fell up under the negotiable instrument article, if I'm not mistaken. I got to go back and look again. So I'm looking at that, and I'm like, well, hell, if you accepted the ticket, that's no longer my responsibility. And for one, the title's not in my name to the van. I don't own the property because the bank owns the property if I'm paying the mortgage. I'm listed as a deed or a tenant on the deed. So why are you bringing this to me in the first place? So what I want to see from the court is I want to see proof that that's my property and what's the invested interest that you have in the property, because it's not registered with the state. That's one of the reasons why they got angry, because I already went, to court over this action. So they just keep coming, and, it's basically a harassment thing now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just trying to make sure that I was moving in the right direction and everything.
Well, what I'm going to do now is everybody haven't took the formula and done it right in the beginning. We are where we are right now. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay out some things for you. And that way you'll know how to deal with these folks from now on. Okay?
Right.
All right. Well, brother, I appreciate you calling in.
All right.
Now, the first thing I want to tell you, and I hope you got your paper and pencil ready. We've already told you about the contract thing. What we want to do is remember one thing: no contract, no case. Now, I have put in the chat room a link that would give you access to a video on YouTube where this guy gives you a complete and total breakdown on driver's license, the definition, how to actually have evidence capturing device inside your vehicle when these people try to roll you, and at the same time this information is transferred to your computer. Because you can have a dash cam, you can have your cell phone, you can have your little audio and video capturing devices and get it into your doors of your vehicle, and you can capture all this information, and you can use it and sue these people. They're aware of this stuff, and now they are taking people because you got to understand that these people, they make a living off of robbing you. And when they cut the lights on you behind you, putting you over, this Jack man, he needs some paper. And they got a commission. They got so many tickets to ride and so many people, to bring in revenue for the fat cat. But you got to protect yourself. So if you are able, go in there, get this stuff. I'm going to put it, I've already put it in the chat. I'm going to put it back in there right now. And here it is right here. Just copy and paste this in a link in YouTube after the broadcast is over. Check this out. Go to the website, and you are able to get this information, and you are able to put your cams and stuff in, and you can record this information and have it transferred right to your computer when this stuff happens. First of all, when a man come up behind you and he cuts on his lights, he's declaring an emergency. If there is no injured party, he is committing a felony. You follow me, brother?
Right.
Okay. All right. So if he's asking you for a driver's license in registrations, he's asking you for property that belongs to someone else. There's we got a lot of background noise. Can we get the background noise down?
Okay.
All right. When he's asking you for the driver license registration, he's asking you for property belonging to somebody else. So we want to record this information because this is stuff that we can actually put in the affidavit that can help us. Because, see, the object of the game is not to be rolled by the jackman, period. We want to get in our vehicle. We want to go to the store. We want to ride. wherever it is that we're going, if we're not being paid to drive, there's no need for us to be jacked every 5 minutes. I just have to be fearful about going through a certain area because of the man down there. I shouldn't be fearful about traveling when I got a right to do so. I shouldn't be living under any forms of fear. I shouldn't have to pay for a driver's license, pay for the picture, pay for the tag, pay for some system they put in place about insurance and all of this business, because the Supreme Court has already ruled speeding is not a ticketable or arrestable offense, but don't get it twisted. We still have to exercise respectability and take responsibility for our actions out there. We ain't going through no school zone at 45, 50 miles an hour.
Right.
We're not going to run a red light or run a stop sign just because we got a right to travel. We definitely better not break the laws in triple force, and that's a curve marked 20 miles an hour, and you trying to go around at 95 miles an hour. You ain't got to worry about the popo if you do that, because there's something else waiting on you on the other side of that embankment. It's called DEATH. So personal responsibility. But the link and stuff that I put in the chat room, this guy will show you how to hook this stuff up so you can capture this information, and you can download your videos and have that, and you can send a copy to the mayor, send a copy to the sheriff, and say, look, man, this is what I got. I need you to put me on the no-stop list, put my wife on the no-stop list, put my brother, my sister, so-and-so. This is the picture, the vehicle, these are the license plates, these are the numbers and stuff. Just put us on the no-stop list. And y'all going on with your jack process, just make sure that you ain't jacking us, and we can ride on. So that's how you deal with that. You deal with that in the beginning. You don't wait till you get down in the muck of the muck to try to be fighting yourself hot. You want to avoid all that, and so you want to record the police stop. If he's telling you, well, you don't have a driver's license, I need you to step outside the vehicle, you have to let him know, look, I cannot volunteer for abduction. According to the FBI, if I open the door and step out the vehicle, I am volunteering for abduction. So I cannot do that. And, of course, if he's telling you that, well, if you don't get out of the vehicle, I'm going to break the window and we're going to pull you out. Okay, that's a threat. So now we have an additional $5,000. Your safety and well-being has been threatened. We got it as evidence. It's being recorded by your recording devices. It's being captured by your computer. Now we can download it on the disk and we can play it into the boo-boo house and make sure they got that down.
Right.
You have another question?
Well, not really right now, So basically, I'm going to go ahead and deal with this on the 17th. I'm not too much worried about it because they can't move without my consent anyway. So I appreciate everything. And, I always listen in on the blog talk all day, every day. So thanks. And I see you just joined on to the family and everything. So y'all keep up the good work. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. We certainly appreciate you calling in.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Okay. Do we have anybody else?
Thank you. I just had some issues with the phone line. But, yeah, we're actually going to move on to the next caller here, not to delay and help other people get their questions answered. Just to everybody on the line, we do want to let you know that, this is time for everybody to give a call in and talk to Brother Tarhaka and not be selfish and, ask, long, drawn-out questions. So no disrespect to anybody that's already called and done that, but just for everybody, for future reference, we want to make sure that the questions are related to the topic as far as right to travel. And if you want to contact Brother Tarhaka, he's always open to people contacting him and dealing with him on more of a one-on-one basis. So thank you, everybody, for calling in. We're going to go to the next caller, Brother Sage. he's actually talking about the question, which is the right to travel and how to enforce it in court. So, Brother Sage, go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, it's a comment, but it's not about how to enforce it. I just wanted to say, they actually give us clues that we do have the right to travel. I don't know if anybody has noticed, but you see these attorneys and, these personal injury attorneys, and some of them actually have commercials that say, we can get you money if you weren't at fault, even if you don't have a license. Now, if you're seeking relief in court, you first have to have clean hands. So the fact that they actually say in their advertisement that they can get you money if you're not at fault, even if you don't have a license, is kind of a clue that you really don't need to have a license.
Well, I had to agree with you. When you get a driver's license, what you are doing is you are exchanging a right for a privilege. Now, if you had a right to do something in the first place, why would you exchange that for a privilege of somebody to govern you about something to make a profit off of you on something you already had a right to do? You're giving up your right when you get a driver's license. That is and that belongs in commerce. If you are not going to be a tractor-trailer driver, just got your nails done, you just got your new hairdo done, you got your nails polished, you got this beautiful skirt on, you don't look like a tractor-trailer driver to me. So why would you have a driver's license? I don't understand. But we don't have to learn this kind of stuff. And you're absolutely correct, brother. This is all designed for us to expend real money, which is our energy and our freedom, in exchange for fiat, and give this to these fat cats. If you look at the lawyers and stuff that's advertising, all of them big and fat and healthy, and somebody, but we here to help you. No, you ain't. You here to get some money from us so you can go and get you some more lunch and remain fat.
That is true. That is true.
We got to look at it. Just like you go in a restaurant and the chef come out the back to tell you about what's on the menu. Eat big, sloppy, out of shape. You ought to know right then if you eat anything that he's finna fix, you end up looking like him. My neighbor told me, say, look, would you like to go to, they're opening up this new restaurant. I said, well, yeah, I'll go with you. I just want to look at the chef. She said, don't you come over here and start nothing. He is a big man, and he is out of shape. I said, well, you go on and tell me about it when you get back. I won't eat nothing, he fixes. So you're right. There are attorneys, and then there are lawyers. And but the key is for you to have the same knowledge that they got. Now, they kept it out the school system because by the time we got to the 7th grade, we supposed to have been introduced to law, and by the time we got to the 12th grade, we supposed to have been had the equivalent of a Johnny Cochran. But they removed that from the school system because that's a very, very lucrative business. But don't nothing stop you from getting the books and stuff that you need and start studying this stuff and start working this thing for yourself. Depends on you. You free yourself, the only person can free you is you. Just you.
Very true. Well, brother, we actually don't have any more callers in the queue right now. You went through the gauntlet, man, and really helped out a lot of people. And I know a lot of people will go to the archives and listen to this. So we're just going to keep rolling. If there's anything that you wanted to cover about the right to travel that you haven't gone over so far, it would be awesome.
Okay, yeah. First of all, I want you to get this free book, and I was trying to bring this information out on the broadcast that I did last night on Morris Talk Live 100, and but I found out that I had it wrong. So now I've gotten the actual link that you can get this free book, and the title of the book is The Death of Money. And I'm going to put that link in the chat room. The book is free. The only thing that you will have to do is pay shipping, which is about $4.95. Room. I was pronouncing it wrong on my broadcast. I was talking about the death of the dollar, but no, it's the book title. I just put it in the chat room. It's called deathofmoney.com. That's a free book. You need to get that and look at that because we're going into a stage of collapse, and the fundamental basis of what we really clearly need to understand in exercising our freedom of right to travel is there is no money. But the sheriff's department, the court system, we got all the cronies and stuff out there separating you from your purse because you are exchanging real money, which is your human energy and freedom for fiat currency, and giving it to them. And we have to understand that there's a controversy between the sheriff's department and the courts. And when you make the sheriff aware of this, first of all the revenue and stuff that they are collecting, court systems, and you got the police out there steady pounding the pavement and writing tickets and taking people to jail and all this stuff. This particular revenue, according to the system that they have set up, is designed to benefit the sheriff's department and the courts. But what's been happening is the courts have been keeping all the money and shafting the sheriff. So if you go over to YouTube and check out Rod Class's videos, he'll tell you the story about how he went in the sheriff's office and told the sheriff about the shafting. And the sheriff wanted to know it all. Then you have the comprehensive annual financial reports. Every city have what's called a CAFRA account. This is money that these people are getting, millions and millions and millions of dollars. If I'm not mistaken, I think Los Angeles, California ought to have trillions. But what they're doing is they're collecting taxes. They're telling you that they have funding to build a bridge or to repair this, that, and the other. But they're running into cost overruns, and we're going to have to raise taxes over here and all this right here. And then all this stuff, they already got the money to do this. And then they're investing and making more money on top of that. And these are private accounts as hell. We had a gentleman in Florida that actually they had this little speed trap down there. And the people kept complaining. Then finally this guy, he was a politician, he went down there. And they roped him off. And when he did, he called for an audit of the CAFRA. And he was able to call them, and they gave him all the facts and figures on the CAFRA account. And he when he took that information, he took it and had them audited. And he found out they were stealing all kind of money, put them on blast. And this is going on in every city across the United States. And when we have a lot of tools at our disposal in the event that they roll you. And so you can do all kind of things. When it comes to filing a lien, we had another brother up in Carolina, and apart from the other guys down in Florida. Now down in Florida, the guy was a classic. The Bank of America wanted him to take out more insurance on his house, about $1 million worth. He said, I can't afford that. And so Bank of America took out the policy in the man's name. That was wrong. So what the man did was he started sending them affidavits, and then he brought them to court. The court ruled against the bank, and he had filed a lien against them. They ignored the lien and all this stuff. So he took the lien and the judgment of the court over to the sheriff's department and told him, look, I need you to fulfill his lien. And the sheriff's department pulled up to the bank with a U-Haul truck. And they went up in the bank. The bank president ran in the office because we finna confiscate the water fountain, the pictures on the wall, any cash you got in the vault. We finna take it all according to the law. And the bank president locked himself in the office. He making phone calls, trying to call his lawyers, find out his lawyers didn't handle the case because they had went out of business. So he come out the office and say, look, I'm going to write you a check right now, but I need you to call these dogs off, man. And this is the second time it happened down in Florida. And the brother up in New York, up in South Carolina, he filed a UCC lien against the bond and the bar card of 2 judges and 2 deputy sheriffs and a lawyer. Both of the judges were fired. Both of the deputy sheriffs were fired. And the lawyer trying to sell his house, he didn't know it was a lien on it. The people say, well, you read at the part, we was just about to buy it, but we discovered you got a lien. They ain't got no lien. He said, well, look, we will send it over to what we got and send it to him. And the brother had to shut him down. They went to this brother and said, look, man, we're going to take our money and we'll send you to law school. I don't need no law school, man. I already beat you. He said, the only reason I did that because y'all were harassing me. That was the end of that, end of the harassment. So you had to understand this stuff and learn how to do it. And I'll formulate this stuff from right where you at right there in your own house. All that running down there in the boo-boo house and scuffling and fighting and learning what to say in the boo-boo house, man, get rid of that. Stay out of there. Learn how to stay out of there. And learn how to formulate your own contracts and how to do this stuff your own stuff. Brother, we got another caller with his hand raised.
Yeah, we actually do. We're getting ready to take a break right now. This will be our last break for the show. And after that, we'll bring in the brother Scimitar Bay, some questions and topics just to talk to you about. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in to High Frequency Radio. Real quick, once again, just let everybody know on the call and online as well, we are doing a webinar this weekend at High Frequency Radio dealing with UCC. So you can go, and this one will be hosted by David McDowell, one of our new hosts. You can go to webinars at radiohighfrequency.com. Email us in the subject line UCC, and you guys can get in that. Once again, those seats are limited. So email us to get the details, and we will be right back.
High Frequency Radio. Sync up. Sync up. Sync up.
Welcome, bienvenidos, Sakpase, Wagwan, bienvenue, peace and love to all the rest of you. Welcome to the House of Liberation, where our commitment is to empower communities of all backgrounds and cultures. This is your sister, Mecca Ill, bringing you the live, bringing you the raw, bringing you the real. Please join us every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on High Frequency Radio, y'all, where we keep it on the cosmic flow, bringing your spirit, mind, body, and soul.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You are listening to Brother Tarhaka on High Frequency Radio, going in today about the right to travel. Scimitar Bay, good frequent listener, is wanting to talk to you, Brother Tarhaka, about some things going on in Indiana territory. Brother Tarhaka, Scimitar, you're live.
All right, I guess. I mean, you know the content that you need to put in it?
Brother Scimitar, you are live.
Okay, hold on.
Hey, Brother Scimitar.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was talking. All right. Yes, how you doing, brother?
I'm fine.
Okay, yes, I've been dealing with this here in Indiana on my situation. I haven't had success like I wanted to. I done really got pissed off.
So I came up with this thing that I call State of Indiana to Preserve the Liberty, i.e. right to travel without a driver license. And what I did, I looked at the motor vehicle manual, and I took and said this bill to be enacted as in law, not an act, and I wanted to go to the General Assembly of Indiana. What gave me this idea is that Georgia's had something like this on their in their state, and I just studied theirs, and then I looked at the laws and statutes and codes here in the state of Indiana. I'm not through with it yet. But what I was trying to do is to make this thing become a law here to when the people wouldn't have to be subjected to this anymore. I know it's going to position, but if it's according to law, the way it's supposed to be, real law, as opposed to statute codes and whatnot, that it should be able to be passed through. So I was trying to make it foolproof. Could you give me any ideas that I could put in here or add to this?
Well, the best advice that I can give you, Brother Scimitar, is before you go out to save the world, let's make up your bed. Let's deal with freedom of right to travel right there with you, man to man. Let's accomplish this with you first, and after you get you straight and get you ready and you rolling, and let's get the devils off your back first, then let's go at this thing on a citywide basis. Let's not scatter the forces. Let's just deal with you. Deal with a man to man, just like. And I want to encourage you to listen to this broadcast over and over and over, because I done already dropped all the information that all the artillery you need, all the ammunition you need is right here in this broadcast. And but if you go at it that way first, and instead of trying to get something done on international and trying to stop all the robberies that's going on through the whole city, let's just stop. Eat this elephant one bite at a time.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, because it just, it's like you say, we shouldn't have to fear or feel uncomfortable when we want to travel to where we're going and we're not doing anything to break the law. It's not criminal to travel. And like you said, the Supreme Court already moved on it, but they act like they do everything else. They just ignore all of that because they're criminals themselves. Yeah.
Well, yeah,
that's how I see that.
These folks, you got a lot of, actually, I wouldn't put it past police is being on the line right now, and the FBI listening to this right here. Yeah, you talking about messing with the golden goose to lay the egg. But when you are talking about dealing with this thing here, you got to do this in a way where you can be effective. Because even though I have done this for myself, my lady friend that I was dating, she's able to ride around and do what she wanted. Don't stop that car no more because it's already on a no-stop list. I don't even have the vehicle anymore. The transmission went out on the one that I had. Been there, done that. But when I'm traveling, because I'm never driving because nobody paid me to drive. We got to understand the terminology. You got to get rid of that.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
When I pass people all the time that they rolling, but you can take the same people. You can just go park somewhere and wait till they get through writing the ticket, then come out and follow that individual and blow your horn and pull them over and try to tell them this information. And they ain't trying to hear it, you see. So we have to just deal with the God supplying the church with such as should be saved. You want to help the world, but before you go out to save the world, have you made up your bed?
I understand what you're saying. I'm fighting, but you're right. Okay. I understand that.
All right, my brother. That's your approach to that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now, I'm going to put this link right back in here one more time. See, I can go over there and get that free book on the deathtomoney.com. And the link that I was telling you about, that you can learn how to get your, well, I'm going to put the whole thing back in there again. Learn how to get out there and capture this information, because no contract, no case. Keep in mind, the whole country operates on a continuous series of contract, and this is just right there on the surface. So all you have to do is capture this information, get evidence, because the bottom line is we want to exercise that particular freedom of right to travel. We don't, because see, if you stay in there, the prices of driver's license, the travel, the restraints and restrictions on you are going to get worse and worse and worse. The driver's license property that belongs to somebody else. If you got that in your possession, you've entered into that contract, you've agreed with that contract and all that stuff, then they got you. They can roll you any kind of way they want to. They sending you something through the mail about coming to court and stuff like that, and you agree, is offer and acceptance on the terms of contract law. The whole country operates on that premise. You cannot go into a grocery store and purchase a can of string beans without entering and exiting the contract. You walk in there, you use your credit card, or you give them some paper money. That's your contract. They give you string beans, and you can't leave because the teller will say, well, hold on, sir, you forgot your receipt. Entering and exiting the contract. Everything operates on the contract. Can't get married without contract. You pass, you lead this life, or you don't have your funeral, or you got to go to the funeral home and sign the contract. You get ready to go to jail, you got to sign your way in and sign your way out. You get ready to go to court, you got to sign in. Everything operates on contract law, but the problem is we have to master the art of formulating our own contract and stand guard and be aware. And then we will learn how to actually function in the public and the private, to separate it, and how to do your bonds. We need to learn how to write our bonds and how to get these public officials off of us. There's a way to get them off you. You can send the right information down there to them and let them know what you know, and let them know what they're facing if they continue to roll you. You can do that. Get them up off your back. I had a housing inspector come around here. He came around. He said, well, somebody told us you was operating a business in your garage. They had a big sign up there that said Tarhaka's Gym. He said, but me personally, I don't see anybody in here. I just see you. And plus, I see a little sign that you have on your door right there that says private gym. I said, well, I appreciate you stopping by. I said, but I'm really, really interested in talking to the man that sent you here. He said, well, that'll be such and such. He's the such and such. I said, I don't care who he is. I said, I just need to know where he is. Well, he just said, I said, well, hold on, let me go and give you my credentials. See if you can get them to him and tell him I just like to, instead of sending you out here to do this here, tell him to come on down there himself. I'm looking forward to seeing him. And he went down there, and he told him, and, of course, that made him mad. So he sent him and said, you go back down there and you tell him the pictures I'm looking at, his sign is too big. And I really enjoyed that. So he came back and said, well, he sent me back and said, your sign's too big. I said, well, come on over here with me, and walked across the street. And we looked at the church sign in front of the church, which is huge. I said, which one of these signs is the biggest in your opinion? That one or mine? And if you think we got something, let's go into the church and tell them that we're going to take their sign down. He said, well, no. He said, you know what? I'm going to go back to the office and tell my boss to kiss my butt. I ain't come back out here no more. I said, no, don't do that. I said, send him over here.
Hey, it's funny you say that, Brother Tarhaka. Half the battle is called standing on your square and studying. The confidence that you exude comes from studying. So, that's powerful display of just knowledge and confidence, and that calmness comes from studying. So thank you for being that example. We actually have another caller. This is Brother Thomas calling out of Maryland, and he just wanted to talk to you about the topic at hand. Brother Thomas, you're live.
Hey, peace to the guys. Hey, how you doing, brother?
I'm fine, Thomas.
Hey,
come on in.
I had a quick question because you said something that I was sitting here pondering about. You said the license is a contract, correct?
Yeah.
And so, dealing with the right to travel, the automobile also is a contract because it's property that is not owned by you. You don't have, I'm just assuming you don't have the manufacturer's certification. So when you talk about police pulling people over and everything, if you don't own the property and they don't own the property, you didn't get permission. I'm just asking you this. You didn't get permission to use the property in the capacity that was for it. Because if you're looking at commerce, anything with wheels is dealing with commerce. So I'm just going off of what I've been hearing from a whole bunch of people, and also in my studies that I don't think they're infringing on your right to travel because you can travel by walking, horse, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But the mode of transportation or the mode of traveling, I think that's where I think a lot of people are getting lost at. Can you elaborate on the certification or the manufacturer's certification of an automobile or the birth certificate of the automobile if you haven't claimed that to the automaker and put it into a trust for your own personal use, no different than your Social Security card or your birth certificate? Can you elaborate on that?
Okay, sure. Let's look at it this way. First of all, we don't want to own anything. We want to control everything, but we don't want to own anything. But at the same time, we don't want to be jacked around because we have this vehicle. I don't know if you was here at the outset when I first read the information that I put out, but if you would pay attention, the automobile is all inclusive, just like the horse-driven cart or ox-driven cart or anything else. Because dealing with this right here, we want to be as less technical as we possibly can. The vehicle, if it's manufactured by somebody else in the United States of America, it wasn't manufactured in the United States, even if it was, we can get it deregistered. But at the same time, what we're trying to do is we're trying to enjoy our cake in peace, so to speak. And we don't want to get into this big, drawn-out muckety-muck about who owns what and who don't own what. It's just a matter of us taking possession of something and exercising the right that we have been given at birth, which is called transportation. Now, they do have a information that clearly describes for you a vehicle description in commerce. That vehicle has to weigh a certain amount. It has so many doors. It has so much of space. The size of the engine, the horsepower, all this stuff is laid out in this document. I don't have it with me right now, which clearly defines a vehicle that is the vehicle that can be classified as a vehicle in commerce. And 99.9% of us do not have such a vehicle, even somebody driving a Hummer, and the big ones, and even just regular automobiles. It's not a big technical situation where you have to do all this. Now, if you are planning on operating in the private and stuff, all of this, most of that take care of itself. But when you're talking about freedom of right to travel, We're talking about a God-given right that is all-inclusive, whether you're driving or riding a horse, or whether you got a horse-drawn wagon, or whether you're driving a Cadillac. It really doesn't matter. And I'm hoping that I've answered your question, but if I haven't...
You're answering the question. I just wanted, there was some other people that needed clarity on certain things. I was trying to explain to them that they didn't need a license to travel. So basically what I was trying to tell them is watch their terminology and understanding a procedure that they have to go through if they get pulled over, which I didn't catch at the beginning of the show, but I caught it when you started explaining on it's a device that you can put in your vehicle or your automobile.
Oh, okay.
That will record the
all right.
conversations.
I just put it in the chat room again, the link to it. It is a video right there on YouTube, but what this guy does is he have a website that you can go to, and they will show you how to connect the audio cams, video and audio cams, to have the information that you're recording. And this is what we've been looking for a long time, to go straight to your computer. And that's what you need. If you're out there on the pavement and they're trying to roll you and stuff, you can record this information. You can speak the law into existence. All of it's recorded, and all we have to remember is no evidence, no case. And if you got this information transferred and to your computer, you can download it or upload it onto a disk, and you got evidence.
Mm-hmm.
You can send a copy to the mayor. You can send a copy to the popo, let them know what you got. And this is what I'm looking for. I got you 5,000 over here, 5,000 over here. You did this. I need another 1,000. Then I think you violating my human rights. Get your partners ready for them $50,000 over here. This is what I got. Go check it out. Make a check payable, such. Here's a copy of the blast letter, unless you want me to put you on blast, or either we come back with the an audit of the comprehensive annual financial report, better known as the CAPRA. Holla at your boy.
I appreciate it, bro. I just wanted to get some clarity on that for some other people, because I'm going to have them go back to the archives and listen to you explain that. I appreciate it. Peace to the gods, and peace to the hostess and everything. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, brother.
Hey, Brother Tarhaka, you are having a firecracker show, man. We have 11 minutes left in this broadcast. We're going to take one more caller. This is Brother Stephen calling from out of South Carolina. He actually has a question about the abatement and him dealing with the right to travel. So, Brother Stephen, you are live with Tarhaka, your host.
Hello?
Hey, man. Come on down.
What's going on? But the question I have is, I filed an abatement and I sent it registered mail. So the question is, do I admit to this jurisdiction when I went into the court and filed the abatement?
Well, if you win, well, let me put it to you this way: when you go into the boo-boo house, ain't no toilet paper. If you went in there, you have it. You made a mistake. You don't even have to go in there. Did they send you anything telling you're supposed to go there?
No.
All right. You got a ticket?
Yeah, I did. I did get a ticket.
All right. Well, you take that ticket. Did you just sign it?
Okay.
You signed it?
No, I didn't sign it.
All right. Okay. Well, just go ahead on and take that ticket. And you want to do this within 3 days. Go ahead and write across the face of that ticket, no contract, refuse the contract denied. Attach a certificate of service to that ticket, and then send that down there to the clerk's office. Certified mail with return receipt. We just need to know if you got that. Everything operates on contract. If you didn't sign it, what kind of contract you got? You didn't have the contract, did you? When you go down to the boo-boo house and there ain't no toilet paper in there, we have a problem. I'm trying to make this as simple as I can, man. Okay, you understand what I'm saying?
I do. So,
okay, we don't care nothing about no abatement, none of that. If you down in the muggity muck trying to do something, you're in the wrong place in the beginning.
Okay. So the steps I would take would just send the ticket back and be done with it?
How long you had the ticket in your possession?
To tell you the truth, probably about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks? Okay, well, let's give it a shot. Let's go ahead and deny the contract and attach it to it. You know, what we got to lose. Send it on down the certified mail, see what happens.
Okay.
But next time, it's happening. Let's do this within 3 days.
All right.
All right, bro. Okay, bro.
All right, Brother Tarhaka, that's it right there, man. You had an awesome show, and you know, I'm sure everybody, this will be a lot of hits in the archives. It's a big deal for people right now, you know, in the world, just trying to do the right thing, and the right to travel is big. So if you have any closing remarks, it's all you.
Okay, well, I certainly appreciate everybody for being on here. Y'all might want to catch my broadcast tomorrow night on Morris Talk Live 100. We're going to be dealing with our ancient story, and not only on the African continent, but we also coming to America. So we're going to deal with the whole thing. It's a 2-part broadcast. This will be part 1. So if y'all, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be doing that. And, of course, you don't have to run anywhere because my broadcasts are all archived. You see them posted over there, so you can listen to Brother Yusuf's show and be right here in High Frequency Radio. When you get some time, you can go back and listen to that and get that 411 down, because knowledge of self is power. And the more that you have, you know, if you got that under your belt, when somebody come to you about some driver's license, you know, that you grind them up. That's where your power at, in yourself. We trying to learn about it for dangle and all that, man. Learn who you are. Knowledge of self. That's where we have to start. Your ancient story, your ancient culture. So when a joker come to you about little guy come up with a gun in the bag, you just say, well, who are you, immigrant? Well, don't mess with that. But anyway, I just want to put that out. I thank you all for calling into the broadcast and listening to what I have to say about this. And I hope I made this as elementary as I possibly could. I've been there, done that. And you can do the same thing. But you cannot get around learning and studying and looking up the definition of the terminology. Look up the word people. Look up the word person. Look up the word driver. Look up the word license. Look up the word freedom. Look up the word money. Look it all up and learn this stuff. And that's all I wanted to ask, my brother.
Thank you, Brother Talk. We have some closing announcements. Once again, everybody, we are having a UCC webinar this weekend with Brother David McDowell. It is going to be Saturday the 13th at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and you can get on that webinar. The seats are limited. You can get on that webinar at webinars at radiohighfrequency.com. Once again, that's webinars with an S at radiohighfrequency.com. You just type in UCC and the subject line as well. This is your host, Sharif Ali, with the show New Moors. I air at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in. Love you all. Peace to the guys and goddesses.